So I'm here at the ERD here. We've got everybody up front. There is a police officer in the hearing office who's trying to sit behind me here. It's kind of surprising to me. I've never seen. I'm sorry. What's your name?
Officer Pomeroy.
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 Pomeroy. Okay.
Badge number 39.
And again, you're here because you're captain.
I was asked to be here by my sergeant.
Okay. And did you give any reason why you're here?
I was just asked to be here by my sergeant.
Okay. All right. Is there a particular reason you're not saying why you got here, or how, or what your instructions are, or anything?
I was told to be here by my supervisor.
Is that the sergeant or the deputy chief, or who are we talking about here?
The sergeant, but okay. I don't know who he got the request or orders from.
Okay, and you were just told to come to this room in particular?
Yep.
And you're just gonna sit here, or what's the plan?
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe walk around the halls.
Maybe walk around the halls.
Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you. And what's your name?
Detective Blank.
Detective. We've been promoted, I see.
We're short-staffed, so.
We're short-staffed. And they sent you?
Mm-hmm.
It can't feel very good.
It's part of the job.
Wow. I guess so. Judge, we've been promoted to a detective.
Not realize you were an officer.
No, she's a detective.
No, you said we. I didn't realize.
I did say we. We got promoted to a detective this week. We had an officer before. Hey, detective, have you ever been at one of these hearings before?
I have.
You have? When was that?
A few years ago.
Oh, that's interesting. Was it equal rights too?
Don't remember.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Were you a detective back then?
No, it's not.
Huh. I don't think I've done a couple of sergeants. I don't think I've ever represented a detective. I mean, that's like, I get the title change and so forth, but is there an exam, or what is the main difference between a detective and an officer?
For our department is that we have more of the higher profile cases.
Okay.
And then we're not doing like patrol work every day.
No, we're sitting in courtrooms and things.
It's part of the job.
That's part of the job. Okay.
But it's just me running up the stairs. Don't ever trust Google. Let me tell you that. Especially be on time for a hearing. All right, we're going to skip ahead about 2 days here. So this is, unfortunately, it's just audio, but this is, we're going from Monday morning to Wednesday morning, first thing. All right, here we go.
To talk to you about this subject here, and that's mainly this conduct that you are doing here. That is absolutely, in my opinion, unethical to maintain this position. And Michelle, I'm also talking to you to maintain this position here that Kevin Carr in particular had no knowledge about this case, and that was a rubber stamp. You knew that to be, you had these documents from the other before you, and you continue to maintain this position and defense, and it's outrageous for you to have done that. And I think that you really have a duty here to be candid with everybody now about your position here in this case, because I think it's unequivocal.
In a ground floor hearing room.
I think it's very equivocal.
I'm an attorney here, there's an ALJ here, the attorney has continued to make, he's engaging in disorderly conduct. I used to take public defender cases, I know exactly what it is, and I would like, yeah. Which hearing room number is this, guys, do you know?
B103.
B103.
I think that's it. I don't know.
Yep.
That's the judge there. talking?
It's my DLC cell phone, I'm not quite even sure what it is. Yeah, just a sec here.
You're really gonna permit this, Judge?
I asked everybody to cease and stop. The fact that nobody wanted to cease and stop so we could start this hearing, I asked, please not to, I would leave the room. And,
I don't consent that I have been verbally abused, I'm sorry. Okay, it's 608-225 Andrea Olmanson. Yep, and I'm one too, and I've about had it with him. He is a bully, yeah, yep, sure, sure. Okay, thanks. As a crime victim, I have certain rights. Hi, yeah. Hi, yeah, so my name's Andrea Olmanson, and this attorney on the other side has been very difficult. He has been now making personal attacks, falsely accusing me, and on Monday, I had specifically said I don't consent to being a crime victim, and I explained what the law was regarding disorderly conduct that constitutes speech, and yesterday I had to ask him to refrain from being excessively loud. And anyway, this is definitely what he's been saying meets the Chaplinsky standard. And, falsely accusing me of knowingly putting false evidence into the record, which didn't happen. And as far as I'm concerned, that is the kind of insult that rises to the level of speech that's provocative, insulting, doesn't serve a legitimate purpose, and is likely to rise to or incite a breach of the peace. And his name is Benjamin Hitchcock Cross. Yeah. Yeah, he is. And all of this has been recorded, so.
no, it has not.
Oh, I
did
thought
not
it wasn't.
start the
Oh,
recording
I
because
thought it was
we
recorded.
haven't started the hearing.
I'm sorry, I thought it was recorded. Oh, pardon? It's two last names he's got. Hitchcock as in, I don't know, the producer, and then the other part is Cross.
Like cross-examine.
Yes, please. I would like an officer, please, sent so that I don't have, so that there's a witness the next time he pulls these shenanigans and can put the kibosh on this when he is overly.
Okay. Okay, all right.
As part of my duties,
Can I ask
yep,
her other
I'm an
name, sir?
attorney and,
Siobhan, Siobhan,
yep,
and then,
I believe that's
she
it.
uses
Is it
Morgan
B03,
sometimes,
guys?
sometimes she uses my first hyphenated name, she goes back.
Okay.
Okay,
I sometimes
my
feel
colleague
that.
is going to check
I had two dogs, and one was black and white, and the other one was white and black. And people always thought they were related, and I stopped explaining.
Yeah, it's on the ground floor.
So, sometimes it
B103,
goes across, and
yep.
sometimes I explain it to everybody, but my practice
Yep,
name is.
and I don't need him
I
arrested or
tried to
anything,
use
but
both.
I don't consent
care less
to
what
being
you
a
say.
crime victim while I am simply defending my
I
client.
don't. But if somebody
So
tells me
I
their
would
preference
prefer
is this,
if an officer could
then
please
that's
be
what I
here.
try to use. And if I mess up, I expect somebody to tell me so that I can make that
Right,
decision, because it's rude.
Right.
Especially if somebody said that.
Well, I'm from Texas. It's a much, the names must be named.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm willing to go out about that. But yeah. My favorite trial at the moment is in Atlanta.
No, it's okay. I mean, we
Completely
have, we do have
everything
multiple
that
witnesses
nobody
as
went
to
to
what
jail for.
happened and
Never
what
been
the
there.
accusations
Okay.
were and so forth.
All right.
And,
Dirty little secret.
Mhm.
What I like to watch.
yeah.
I live for long crime.
You're wise.
Live for long.
You look
crime.
Whitaker? Are you a big Whitaker fan?
Is that the thing in Atlanta? I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, okay, so that's why, yeah, YSL is a record label.
Sure,
with
that's
Clam
great.
Gang. And
Sure,
there was
thank you.
This previous judge, Glenn, who got
Yeah.
recused, was the chief judge, you know, it's like, it's in their equivalent circuit court.
Is this the one where he threatened to throw the attorney in jail? Or is that?
Yes,
the-
exactly, contempt, yeah, that's what got me, I'm hooked on that one.
Oh, I'm mesmerized with that one.
Yeah.
I gave up when
But
they
Brian
started
Steele's
doing
my
that
hero,
motion.
he's my, I've like sent him, I won't quite say love letters, but they're,
No. I gave up, I stopped watching that one when they spent like a week and a half going to the beach and everything.
oh, there was a couple of, right, well, love can be insufferable sometimes.
I know, so
Yeah.
that was like, I had too many other things to do. But that's what I would watch from like, 11:30 at night until like 3 in the morning when I can't sleep, just to kind of catch
Oh,
up.
I have it, you can hear it in the
on stuff.
bathrooms in the office, cause there's not a moment of non-screen time when I'm not glued to it.
Well, see, what I'll do is I'll binge watch, and then I'll take a vacation, and then I'll catch up on all the ones
Okay.
I've watched. So it's still going on?
Oh, yeah, it's deep into it, and I'm still, I'm so into it that my friend is like, Ben, we're worried about you, you've been watching too much.
Oh, I turn that crap off.
Oh,
Turn it
okay.
off. I don't need
I like
somebody
when things
babysitting
care, I
me.
like when corporations and machines care about me.
No, turn that off. I got told that once, and I'm like.
Well, seems like a similar reaction, but that is funny. Jeff, I think it's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, no, don't call me a bigot. You're not the boss of me. So, no, the phone will not call me.
Well, there's, okay, I think we found a,
But I love watching, long time network.
do you like the Vinny Politano guy and that stuff?
I don't listen to any of the commentary or what the attorney says. That's I scroll through. I literally just want to hear it from myself.
Okay, so true, and if it was like football and you could like TiVo through the things, I would just be hitting with the cross-examination, I only watch the examination to watch the cross-examination.
Well, Cross is the best, and it's an option, and it's my favorite part.
Especially when they're like the millionaires who got the high, the best,
Yeah, I know, and sometimes I'm like, are you kidding me?
the best hair that money can buy,
The
yeah.
other trial that I was like, the one in South Carolina.
Oh, yeah, check this out. We went to a soccer game versus Liverpool and Manchester, and it was fun. It was his birthday party, and I'm like, what the hell, so I'm driving down, and my brothers were supposed to take him, and so I ended up having to take him and a friend down. And that friend and I, he's my best friend because 5 minutes into the trip, he's like, I got car sickness, and then he sat next to me the whole time. That was an intense, not what I had planned on.
You think?
Yeah, but hey. So we're down there in Liverpool, and we're down there trying to get access, and there's this guy in the golf cart. He's like, you guys want to?
Sure, it's O-L-M is in Mary,
So it's
A-N is in Nancy, S is in Sam,
So we're talking for
O-N is in
15
Nancy.
minutes or whatever, and it turns out that his daughter is harpooning
Andrea,
his personal ranger geek.
A-N-D-R-E-A.
You know, I think Harpoon, to me, he's a great character. I like to watch him. But I tell you what, I think
Yeah.
they had
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
he's
a dog fleas case, but I honestly.
That would be
they were some of the
wonderful. Thank you,
worst
ma'am.
attorneys they had. The whole time I'm thinking, why am I
They opened the door. They opened every door.
Okay, I will, thank you.
No, because why? Because they thought they were too clever for every single one. That's what I totally agree with that.
It was just horrendous.
Right.
I mean, and then people have a tendency to overcook the turkey.
That's a good way to put it too.
You know,
Okay.
it's like, just because somebody calls it, and this is what I never understood, just because somebody calls it a witness, does not mean you have to ask that witness questions.
That's a rookie move. Yeah.
Every witness, you need to examine, what can I get from my case have this witness. It might only, I ask this witness one question, I might only ask this witness two. You will always listen to what they have to say, because they know that they will do something. But otherwise, other than that, if I only have two questions for this witness, I might ask two, and then move on to the next one. The problem people have is where we want to get into all this extra layers of stuff, and when you're in front of a jury, I find more often that you lose them more. You have to stay focused.
Have you argued in front of a jury?
Oh my God, yes.
Because you've done criminal stuff.
For 16 years.
That's right. What county is that?
I've done criminal and primarily in Wisconsin, but I also had my license in Illinois. I had practice in Illinois.
Okay.
So I used to do copyright, trademark, and then I also did real estate. I also did criminal work. I did family
Oh,
law.
okay.
So I've done a variety of things in my career. I loved it. I had two LLMs, in intellectual property and privacy law, privacy law and
Good.
internet.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi,
How's it going?
I'm fine. How are
Yeah.
you?
This is 103, right?
This is 103. This
Okay.
is Miss Olmanson.
Oh, yeah.
This is Attorney Hitchcock Cross.
You got it.
And
Hold that phone.
Ms. Olmanson had just made the call to 911. I'm an administrative law judge.
Okay.
My apologies,
How's it
sir.
going? Officer Price.
Hi, Officer Price. My name is Larissa Benias Morgan. I'm with the Equal Rights Division. I'm supposed to be conducting a 6-day hearing. We have not started yet this morning. I was trying to make sure everybody was up on computers. I had the things that I have. We had some problems with the passwords. But in any event, Attorney Hitchcock Cross wanted to make some statements and place some things on. I advised everybody, I have not started this hearing yet. I did ask him to stop, that this was something he was directing deliberately at them. It is not on the record. I have not started. If he was going to continue, I did say, I'm going to leave the room because these are all conversations that I don't think I need to hear. These were more of personal issues that Attorney Cross seemed to have with Attorney Olmanson. There was some other incidents. Hi, Officer Pomeroy.
Hi.
That Officer Pomeroy was here earlier in the week, and some of them disturbed Miss Olmanson because she did at that time, and that may be on the record. I think I was recording at that time. I don't know, the days are flowing into one another. I'd have to go through some 25 pages of notes. But anyway, it disturbed her that she felt that he was being disorderly. It's disorderly conduct. She mentioned that, she's a victim here. He needed to see some time to desist. This stuff, I didn't stop the hearing. We calmed down, and then we moved on. This morning, he wanted to make some, he needed to say some things where he felt, I'm speaking my impression, that there were things that he felt he needed to say to her, and he did want to say to her, that was that. I did not take any notes as to what was said because it didn't involve me. I'm trying to get ready for a hearing. I said, I will leave the room. It doesn't include me. Ms. Olmanson was highly offended. She said she felt threatened by you can only overhear a conversation when it's right here on the phone, that she felt threatened by his verbal attacks and that he was being abusive and disorderly, and she said she was calling 911. Now, of course, before we started, Attorney Hitchcock Cross did make notice of today as well as yesterday that once again we don't have an officer here. I said, well, I had asked for one because I always ask for one for my hearings just to help maintain a sense of decorum, which I explained to you, Officer Pomeroy. That's the whole reason for this. I don't feel threatened by anybody. I'm not worried about my physical safety. It's more of just to help if things escalate. A lot of times the presence of an officer helps to de-escalate everybody. Take a deep breath, and let's proceed civilly. So that's all I know of this. Ms. Olmanson's here. I don't know if you need me any further. I've told you everything I feel I know. Did I leave anything out that anybody
Attorney Cross did continue.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
he continued after I asked him to stop.
Yes.
That did happen. I think he finally stopped when she was on the phone with 911. But if nobody needs me otherwise, I'm gonna be available, but I'm going to step out so that you guys can do whatever you feel you need to do.
Okay.
I'm here, I'm not leaving anywhere.
you're good.
I've got a hearing to conduct. We're having a hearing.
Yeah, no fire.
So, but unfortunately, I do need to now
Okay.
for DRD rules, I have to lock everything down.
What does that mean?
I have to lock my computer. I can't just step away, which means then I have to go through 65
Guys,
million
you wanted to run
passwords.
for a second and talk?
Okay, well, I can.
Be out on the patio, allowed to do my horrible habit. I'm too old to quit. And I think,
Mind if I sit in your seat?
sir, you can sit anywhere you want.
Hi, Attorney Hitchcock Cross.
Thank you.
Hi there.
How are you doing today?
Just fine, thank you.
Awesome. If you, I mean, I know you might want to record if you want to record. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
So I have no issue with that at all.
Great.
So from Monday, when we were all here on Monday,
I don't have any, I'm not going to answer any.
no, you don't have to answer anything.
Okay.
I wanted to make a statement.
Okay. I'm happy to hear your statement.
When I was here on Monday with everybody, I don't think you were here on Monday. It was a different person, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Listening to you talk I can tell you talk with passion. You talk, I mean, you really like, I believe you really like what you do. You talk with a lot of passion. Unfortunately, what some people hear the passion that you talk with, they take that as being disorderly. And we all did, I mean, between both sides, some voices were raised on Monday, closer to the end. And that's when I was starting to step in, and the judge stepped in. I don't know if you remember that, it was closer to the end. But you talk with a lot of passion. And I actually really, I've told other people, I don't tell people what we talk about because I don't care what happens in here. That's not, I'm just here. I enjoy listening to that. I really liked it. Some people take that as, they get defensive with that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
So, and that's just my observation from Monday.
I appreciate it.
So that's kind of where.
I got a YouTube channel, a lot of fans
Do you?
on that. Yeah. So
I
a lot of people
heard
like
that.
to watch that. Who'd you hear that from?
When I was coming here, I don't remember who I heard it from. I just heard that you had a YouTube channel, and I said, oh, maybe I'll be on YouTube. I don't know.
Maybe.
So it
Oh,
just
do
happens.
you talk to the other officers about the YouTube channel or what?
No, I
No.
heard, and I don't even remember who I heard it from. I heard that you had a YouTube channel.
You really don't remember who you
I
heard it from?
actually, I talk to so many people in a day. I really don't even remember who, because I don't, if I don't have, if I'm not writing it down for a report, things like that, I'm not gonna.
Well, did you document who you talked to today?
No, I didn't.
No. Okay.
Today yet?
Yeah.
I'm talking to you.
Okay.
This is actually my first call for the day,
Great.
so I'm talking to you. That's
Okay.
why. Did you want to go over what, I don't know what happened here. I just heard what.
No,
the
I have
judge
no
said.
statement for you whatsoever of any
Okay.
kind.
And that's your choice.
So I would like you to explain to everybody why it is that you were here on Monday.
When everyone gets back, again, I was requested to hear. I mean, I don't know if you want me to.
Right,
wait
have
till
you
everyone gets
figured
back.
out though, because I asked you that I think on Monday,
You-
how it
you
is
asked
that
me
you
last
came
year,
to be
yes.
here and how
And
you
I told
came
you
to
I
be here.
came to be here because I was asked by my sergeant.
Right, and then now have you learned anything else since
I
that
have
time?
not learned anything. All I learned was that we didn't have the staffing to come back yesterday and today. We just didn't have the staffing. We're short-staffed. So that's all my understanding. I don't get into what the admin does. I don't get into if they're having conversation with somebody or anything. I have no idea. All I know is, like I told you that day, I was asked by my sergeant to be here.
Yeah, okay. And you still don't remember how you learned about the YouTube channel?
No, I don't. Somebody said that you had a YouTube channel, and I thought that's kind of cool. People who have a YouTube channel, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because thousands of people do. I don't, because I'm on YouTube. I've been on YouTube with the departments I worked at, but
Where else have you been?
I was City of Portage. So I mean, I figure if I'm not doing anything
Who's
wrong,
the chief
I don't
then?
care. Chief there is Chief Klafke right now.
But when you were there, who was the chief?
He was there at the end of my stay.
Okay.
Chief Manthe was there.
Manthe, okay.
Manthe was there at the
I think I
beginning.
remember that. Okay.
Yeah, so, good department. But like you do, when you're a police officer, people video you, and some people put it
It's
on YouTube.
public. It's always
It's
surprising
all
to me
public
when
record.
public employees are like feel that they can't be on video. That's always surprising. I'm glad that you've got a different approach to that.
Do you, on my lunch hours, and I tell this to a lot of people, on my lunch hours, I watch a lot of amendment audits. And that's why I have no issue with being filmed, as long as I'm not doing something illegal, as long as I'm not doing something immoral. I don't care.
Do you watch them? Like you? What do you like
I
about
love-
those videos?
I don't know. I love watching them. If a police officer makes a mistake, I learn from it. If the public is really trying to push that police officer, push their buttons, I learn from it.
And
That's
but you
why I
watch
like
the
to-
ones where like people go in the. So I have a lot of those people watch my channel. I don't quite understand it, but I'd like to know more about what the because I think it's fascinating. I'm just not clear on the motivation. But like for the police people, that one I kind of understand. But for example, the post office, that one I'm less clear about. And sometimes
Okay.
people will go into like the county clerk's office. Have you seen some of those
Yes,
ones?
they go all over the place, and really, it's an open building. It's owned by the public.
It's owned by the public, like this
So,
one is here, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, the state can kind of mandate things. I mean, they have certain rules and things like that. I just am here to enforce what I know is law.
Right. Okay.
I'm not here to enforce rules because the rules are like their rules.
Right, the
I'm
building's
here to
rules,
enforce- yeah,
the
I'm here
department's
to
rules.
enforce the laws.
I got it.
So if something disorderly happened here today and something has to happen, that's what I'm here to enforce. I'm
Great.
not here to enforce if you were talking with passion or whatever you're doing. That's not what I'm here to enforce.
Good. I think I got that.
So
Cool. Anything? So the channel's Deliberate Indifference, Wisconsin, and
I'm sorry.
Deliberate Indifference, Wisconsin.
Do you mind if I write that down?
I don't mind that. We, yeah. Please look at it.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I would like to see it.
Do you know Amory, Wisconsin?
I'm sorry?
Are you familiar with the town of Amory?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've ever been there.
It's way up there.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's one of those newly hybrid communities where there's all these people, these blue people, for lack of a better word, who have moved in from like the Twin Cities.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And like there's the established sort of red community, for lack of a better word, there's like there's a lot of mixtures.
Yeah.
Right. So there's
especially with everything going on right now. I fully get that.
yeah, we've got Raymond is another one that we it's just another sort of border community between Milwaukee County and Racine County.
Okay.
And so there's people from Milwaukee that are moving in there, and then there's people from who have been there for quite some time, right? And I think it's a similar clash.
I like to learn as well. If I can learn something every day, that's all.
So what that channel is most famous for is there's a disciplinary hearing of a police aide, I think.
Okay.
And the police chief, who was new from the City of Milwaukee Training Academy, newly installed, went after her mostly because of her public speech.
Okay.
And that some people think that he really, I guess for lack of a better word, hung himself or made himself look bad and lost the case for himself because of his own testimony.
And a lot of people do that.
Yeah, and that I think is what is so fascinating about that video. But I don't know why, but that's that's something you should check out because I think that's the number one thing. Deliberate,
Oh, deliberate. I agree with
yep,
that.
indifference, and that's a public school term for public school law, which is something I do a lot of.
So, like I said, though, I rather enjoyed listening to how everything went
Great.
the other day. I thought that was kind of fascinating to watch. What I would ask is a favor. I mean, I know, like I said, it sounded like you like to talk with passion. If you would be able to, bring that passion down a little bit. We're in a small room. We're in a, you're, what would you say, 4 feet from the judge? Probably.
It's not a big room. I think we can all
probably
agree on
6
that,
feet from
right?
the other.
Not a big room.
Yeah, not a big room.
Right. They could put us in a bigger room. There's a bigger one right next door.
Well,
The lights are
where it
off.
was supposed to be was actually a huge room.
Right.
And
Well, why aren't we in that huge room?
I don't know. I was actually sitting up there on that first day waiting for this to start. I'm like, nobody's showing up, and I came down here. I can't remember, at like 10 after, whenever I came down here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, where is this supposed to take place? And they said in here. I'm like, I'm sitting upstairs. So again, that was I was told to be here, and I was told to be in that room.
Okay.
So I was in the wrong room for a while. So, but I mean, yeah, it's tiny in here, and it gets warm in here quick.
That was the thing. It got
It's very warm.
right, and we had to open the door and all
Yes.
that. It's a little bit silly.
So, I mean, if I could ask that favor and just try to bring the passion down a little bit, and then I don't think any. I mean,
Well,
we
seriously,
wouldn't be here.
I just want to make it clear. You're a Wisconsin State Capitol Police officer, right? You've got
Yes, sir.
that badge on there, and you're asking me to tone my passion, my advocacy for my client down, and the passion down a little bit. Doesn't that seem a little bit like you're infringing on our First
No,
Amendment rights?
I'm asking.
Okay.
I'm not telling you.
Got it.
I'm asking a favor.
I understand.
That's all it is.
Do you think we could ask them to move us to a larger room? Do you think that might help?
We can ask. I don't know if it'll help, but we
Okay.
can ask because I don't know if other rooms are being taken. I have no clue.
Right, and I don't know if,
You got
my passion
4 more
for.
days, is
Do
it?
you understand that the allegation in this case, because you missed the testimony, but the gentleman, sorry, that's the wrong word. The employee of the Department of Correction is alleged to have grabbed my client by her breast from behind and pulled her up off the ground for some minutes in view of at least 15, possibly 30 of her colleagues who did nothing and said nothing and told the Department of Corrections that they didn't know anything about it. And that the Dodge County Sheriff's Department initially charged him as 4th-degree sexual assault and then disorderly conduct and then ultimately
The jail did or the county?
the
did?
county.
Okay.
Jails don't
Yeah,
have any
that's what I was
police
wondering
powers.
because if it was happening in
Right.
the jail. I
Right,
didn't
so
know.
that's what's at stake here. And
Okay.
you can understand how somebody might be passionate, right, about a situation and
Of course,
defending
you can
and
be passionate about
being
anything.
advocating rights for somebody like that who
Yep.
had such a situation as that allegation
People are
happened. to.
passionate about wolves.
Right.
I sat in on the hearing for wolves, and people were very passionate about that. You can be passionate about anything.
Well,
So I get
the
it.
problem I have with that statement is it kind of diminishes what the allegations are.
No,
what
and I'm not
happened to her.
diminishing anything
And
because
I think that's
I don't know how the person felt.
problematic.
I wasn't there. I have no idea. Like I said, I was here for the one testimony, and I don't sit and listen to what she's testifying about. I mean, I was in the room that day, but what?
Right,
was
but I just
being
told
talked
you what
about
the
was-
allegations
Yeah,
are and why
yeah, you
I'm
did,
being,
but
right.
Without that, I don't. I
Well, but
try
now you
not to
know,
have-
right?
No,
Because I
know.
just told you.
Yes.
Right.
And now, I mean, it is what it is. I don't want to take away from anybody, because if somebody's a victim, they're a victim. I mean, she said she was a victim.
You wouldn't
disorderly
want that to
conduct.
happen to you, would you?
I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody.
You don't have, do you have
So, I'm not
a
saying,
female relative, like your daughter or your wife? You wouldn't want that to happen to them,
course
right?
not.
No, okay.
of course not.
No.
but
And you might be
I mean,
passionate if somebody did that to your daughter or your wife, just for
definitely
example.
passionate about it.
Yeah, okay.
But like I was saying, I was just asking, like I said, I know you're passionate. I was listening to you. I could hear the way you were talking. I was just, asking a favor.
I appreciate
kind
that.
of bring it down a little bit. Just, we don't want to, we're not here to upset anyone else. We're here to basically, court, prove a point, right? Prove somebody's guilty, somebody's not guilty. You're arguing your side. And that's what I see. Let me talk to my partner real quick.
Great.
Thank you for that. Do you shake
Hey,
my
partner.
hand?
What's your
Shake.
name? Of course
Thank
I'll
you.
shake your hand. Mr. Price, how you
Price.
doing?
How's
Nice
it
to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think assault is assault. And if your talking is too loud, maybe she needs to put some earplugs in. Maybe she's got sensitive ears.
Maybe she was sensitive. I don't know. I'm not going to say much about that, but it is astonishing that here we're 45 minutes in and what we've done. Yeah.
Okay.
So I did talk to him. I made that request to get a bigger room.
Great.
I don't know if it's gonna happen or if they can make it happen.
Okay.
But I did make that request.
Appreciate it.
Okay,
I'm sorry, what's your first name?
Dennis.
Dennis.
Yeah.
And we shook hands before, but I was occupied and I
Yeah,
appreciate it. Okay.
not a problem. So
Alright.
I did make that request. I don't know if they can do it. I don't know. I heard that room was full yesterday. I don't know what's
They'll
going
know
on.
though. They'll know if they can do it.
Yeah.
And if they
but-
want to do it, they'll do it. If they don't,
Yeah.
they won't.
So, but I wanted to let you know I made that request.
Appreciate it.
Because, I mean, I'm not the one who makes that call, so,
There's no reason I can't leave this room, is there?
no, you can leave.
Oh,
So, thank you very much.
thank you very much.
I've got a nifty question.
That's the whole thing. Hi, how are you?
Is there,
Good morning.
who does rooms? Because I don't do room arrangements, I just simply said I was having a Who does rooms? Is it possible for me to talk to somebody about getting a larger room? Because this one's kind of tiny. Somebody by the name of Deb?
I don't know who anybody is.
I know here, that's it, okay.
Ready? Good?
Do you have
She's not here.
I can make a phone call, so that's where we're going now. Make a call to my supervisor and see what his decisions are based on staffing, based on everything else. So we'll let you know once we kind of know,
Okay.
and we'll go from there. All right? Other than that, you have any questions or anything else right now?
Thank
I
you.
guess I'm just looking at the timeline for New
I like
York.
that passion.
We're gonna step outside right now, make a
But I
phone call.
appreciate it.
Okay, I'm just gonna grab my cell phone if that's okay.
That I get.
before you do
I
that.
understand.
I appreciate that.
Hi, I'm Ben.
Kasich.
Sorry?
Kasich.
Casey, appreciate it.
Thank you.
No, good morning to everybody.
Actually, I was just grabbing my phone and my,
The attorney Ben?
That's right. What's your title?
Brand new.
Brand new.
Rookie.
All right.
That's what I get called.
Hey, really?
That's why there's extra here. 'Cause training.
Training. That's all right. That's cool. Have you been even a law enforcement officer before? How long have you been certified? How about I ask that?
Not too long, but did some time in corrections.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I represent a lot of law enforcement officers, so I'm a little bit familiar with the life and the system. So that's cool. Where'd you go to high school?
General idea, like half hour?
So personnel.
Is it? All right. That's like my #1 intro.
to find out.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
That was too journalistic, huh? Have a good night.
So they're gonna go call and.
Yeah, look at him. He's got to go sit outside. What are you supposed to do? Sit for any loud noises, or what are you supposed to do? Tone?
Stay here.
There's a bowl of candy over there.
You know?
I saw that.
Do you know in Iran they actually have a morals police that goes around and like, yeah,
Where's
tells
that?
people that Iran. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
What do they do?
They put people in jail and beat them up. So the morals police.
That's a morals police?
Yeah, maybe you could, tone it down. The tone it down police. I don't know.